One of the most dangerous questions I get in photography workshops is this: Rakesh, why are the aperture numbers so weird? Why do we have 1, 1.4, 2, 2.8, 4, 5.6, 8, 11? Why not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I mean, honestly, who sat in a room and said, let's make photography difficult? Let's confuse people forever. And the best part? Everyone uses these numbers very confidently. Shoot at 5.6, bro. But if I ask why 5.6? Silence. Complete silence. Like I asked them to explain quantum physics in Konkani. But today we'll fix that. And by the end of this, not only will you understand why aperture numbers are like this, I'll also give you a super easy hack to remember them forever. So don't run away when the math starts. I promise this is not a school exam. This is photography with just a little bit of common sense and one innocent looking circle. First, let's understand aperture. Aperture is simply the opening inside your lens through which light passes and reaches the sensor. Now think of it as a window. Bigger window, more light comes in. Smaller window, less light comes in. Simple? So if I want more light, I need a bigger aperture. Less light, I need a smaller aperture. No problem so far, right? Now everyone is happy, and then the camera manufacturers come in and say, great. Now let's name them in the most confusing way possible. Now in photography, we measure light in something called a stop. One stop means double the light or half the light. That's it. And that is universal. Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji, Olympus, Leica. Everyone may fight outside, but when it comes to a stop is a stop. That's the only peace treaty in photography. Now, here comes the fun part. Let's imagine the aperture is a circle. If it is a circle, what is the formula for area of a circle? Area of a circle is pi multiplied by r square, which is radius. Radius square. Yeah, I know. Some of you just had flashbacks of school trauma, but seriously, stay with me. Let's just say the radius of this aperture is a. Then the area is equal to pi multiplied by a square. Now this area determines how much light passes through. So if I want double the light, what do I need? Double the area. Not double the diameter, not double the drama, just double the area. So now the new area becomes 2 times the circle. One circle is pi a square. So 2 circles will be 2 multiplied by pi a square. Now can I have 2 separate holes in the lens? No. That would be a lens and a flute as well. So I need one bigger circular opening that has the same area as those 2 smaller ones combined. Now let's call the radius of this bigger opening b. So the new area is pi into b square. Now because I want the bigger opening to have the same area as those 2 small openings, the formula is pi into b square is equal to 2 into pi into a square. So now let's solve this equation. Pi b square is equal to 2 pi a square. Simple. We have pi on both sides, we cancel it. So we get b square is equal to 2a square. Now I want b. So I will take the square root. So if I apply square root on both sides, what do I get? B is equal to square root of 2 multiplied by a. Now what is square root of 2? If I use the calculator and check, it is 1.414. So here's the whole secret. To double the light, the size of the aperture does not double. It only increases by a factor of approximately 1 by 4. So, and that's the reason the aperture sequence goes f by 1, f by 1.4, f by 2, f by 2.8, f by 4, f by 5.6, f by 8, f by 11, and so on and so forth. Each stop is basically multiplying by a square root of 2, which is approximately 1.4. So, those numbers are not random. They are not made by evil engineers. They're based on geometry, area of the circle, and doubling or halving of light. Now, here's where beginners get trapped. They say, Rakesh, 2.8 is smaller than 4. So, why shouldn't 4 let more light? And this is where photography confuses you. Aperture numbers are not the actual size of the hole, they are f numbers. And the formula is the f number is equal to focal length divided by the aperture diameter. So, smaller f number is equal to bigger opening, which means more light. And bigger f number is equal to smaller opening, which means less light. And that's why f divided by 2.8 lets in more light than f by 4, even though 2.8 is a smaller number. And this is why beginners look at aperture numbers and say, I understand, but I also don't understand. Now for the hack I promised. If you want to remember aperture numbers very easily, learn just two numbers, 1 and 1.4. If you memorize that, then it's very simple. Every time I will double these to get the next two numbers. So 1, if I have to double, I multiply by 2. So 1 into 2 gives me 2. 1.4 into 2 gives me 2.8. 2 multiplied by 2, which gives me 4. Then 2.8 multiplied by 2, which gives me 5.6. Now if I multiply 4 by 2, it gives me 8. 5.6 multiplied by 2 approximately gives me F11. The next one, you try. 8 multiplied by 2, 16. 11 multiplied by 2, perfect, 22. That's it. Now you got it. Now you can remember these aperture numbers. One thing I would suggest is try and memorize these numbers with the hack I gave you, because it will always help you. So the next time someone asks you, why are aperture numbers not linear? You can say because light is measured by area, and area of a circle grows by a square. So every stop changes by square root of 2, not by simple whole numbers. Simple, scientific, and just confusing enough to make photographers look intelligent at coffee shops. Now, if this explanation finally made aperture numbers click for you, then congratulations. You are now officially less confused than 80% of the photographers. And remember, camera companies did not invent these numbers to torture you. Physics did. Camera companies just happily continued the tradition. So, if you want more photography concepts explained in a simple, practical, slightly dangerous way, subscribe, like, comment, and consider pressing the bell icon so you're notified the next time I drop a video. Cheers. Thank you so much, and God bless.